With a population of 6 million and a diverse land area of over 36,000 square miles, Indiana provides the marijuana grower ample opportunities to ply his trade. The fact that most marijuana is marketed to our young people makes the problem hit home. Marijuana is not a problem of major urban areas. It is one that affects every Hoosier, whether they live in populous Indianapolis, the industrial regions, the vast agricultural areas, or the hills of the Southeast. To address this problem, the Indiana State Police have served as the lead agency in the DCESP program. With an authorized manpower of 1,200 troopers and investigators, the state police do the majority of the eradication and investigations work. However, the true strength of the program lies in the coalition of agencies that we have been able to involve in the effort. By letter of agreement, the Department of Natural Resources plus 28 sheriff's departments, drug task forces, and police departments have partnered in the program. Additionally, the National Guard have provided valuable assistance with field eradication teams and administrative support, and the Civil Air Patrol have provided air support. The result has been the annual eradication of 40,000 cultivated plants, 15 to 30 million wild marijuana plants, the seizure of about 5,000 pounds of processed marijuana, closure of about 70 indoor grows, and about 3,000 to 4,000 arrests annually. In Indiana, the price of marijuana is going up. The DCE program in Indiana has three major thrusts: traditional field eradication, investigation of indoor grows, and demand reduction. Field eradication in Indiana, because of the diverse geography, is really many programs. During World War II, hemp was grown across northern Indiana under the direction of the Department of Agriculture. The result, for us today, is massive amounts of wild ditchweed across a band of northern Indiana counties. This free-growing marijuana has grown pickers into these rural areas from throughout the Midwest and points as far as Florida.
This former dealer turned informant, who we'll call Joe, helped convict more than 80 people in northern Indiana on drug charges. He confirms the fact that Indiana's reputation for wild marijuana is known in drug circles throughout the United States. In fact, he speaks of an informal motel system that is set up to house out-of-town harvesters.
There's a lot of people in this state that just take money for letting people come to their house and stay and work. All they do is stay at these people's house. They pay them, $200 to $300 a week, maybe more, and they just stay there and they go out at work at night until they get them up a load, and then they take it back to Florida. This way the people aren't involved in anything. They just simply say, the guy stays at my house, that's all.
In these areas, the National Guard is used extensively to eradicate using heavy-duty trimmers. In some areas, county governments have independently set up noxious weed boards and are spraying the ditch banks and roadsides for the plant. We are seeing some success. However, the plant is very virulent, and this process is a long-term commitment. Enough arrests have been made over the years by our nighttime pot patrols that we are seeing fewer out-of-state travelers shopping for cheap marijuana. Across this region, extending into south-central Indiana, are expansive agricultural areas. With corn being a major cash crop in our state, there is a lot of natural cover and environment for cultivated marijuana. This is where the bulk of the cultivated outdoor marijuana is grown in Indiana. Eradicating these plants is difficult and time-consuming. Because of the pressure that we have created with our aggressive execution of this program from the air, we have seen the growers planting smaller grows, widely scattered over large areas. The result is that it takes more time to get all of the plants out. Throughout southeastern Indiana, the hills and woods provide a different type of challenge for the eradicators. Here, finding and getting to the grows can be extremely hard. However, this is where we find our largest grows. Because each geographic region provides its own challenge and has a different combination of participants in the program, the state police have divided the state into 5 areas, each having its own full-time coordinator to facilitate the coordination of air support, surveillance, and field eradication. With the downsizing of the military budget and the adjustment of aircraft in the National Guard, the state police have provided nearly all of the air support for the program over the last 4 years. Indiana's DCE program is also heavily committed to investigating and closing indoor grows. The grant funds overtime for over 70 state police undercover investigators when they work these cases, or when they are following up on large outdoor grow investigations. Much good investigative work is also funded for the many drug task forces that are participants in our organization. Our aviation section supports these efforts with airborne thermal imaging and with support for surveillance. The third area of emphasis for our program is in demand reduction. Last year, the Indiana State Police Public Information Office, funded by the DCE grant, made a major effort to put together a comprehensive resource for police officers that are called upon to provide programs on drug education. This program focuses specifically on marijuana abuse. It will enable any officer to pick up a resource kit and make an educated presentation to any age group about this problem. 100 of these kits will be distributed throughout the state and made available to any police officer for his use. There is a committed effort to combat marijuana in Indiana, due in large part to the funding and coordination provided by the DCE program. With the continued participation of all the various agencies involved, we can win this battle.